Thank you. I'm very happy to be here. Yes. Hello, thanks. Very happy to be here. It's great to have a session like that where the three organizations, the RDA, WDS, and CODATA come together to share, the ideas and innovations from the early career researchers. This is wonderful. Each one of these organizations supports the early career researchers very much, and it's great this to be a global effort. Just a few words about CODATA to have some context. So CODATA was established in 1966. It's in some way an experienced organization that has had decades of thinking about data in the context of defining or helping define the specifications for the use of standards, of making data more accessible, more shareable, more reusable, and of course in the last decade or so with decade since the FAIR principles were defined and were published, so it's been focusing a lot also on the findable, accessible, and interoperable and reusable data. But CODATA is just an organization that works with different, connects to the world in different ways. One is through the memberships, right? With the members being either national, at the national level, or academies of sciences, or scientific unions, and other types of organizations too. Then also CODATA leverages already the expertise that exists internally as part of the Secretariat, but also the network of people in the field, in the data practitioners, data research field, that can help to provide advice and recommendations for data policy and data interoperability. It also partners with other organizations, of course, very much with the International Science Council, which CODATA has been the Committee on Data of the ISC, right, is part of, and was affiliated with. And so it works closely together with ISC. It also works with UN and other intergovernmental organizations to help also establish and provide those recommendations on data and data policies at the global level. And then it also, of course, works with a lot of other technical and data organizations, including RDA and WDS present here. CODATA's mission is to connect data and people to advance science and address global challenges. Simple but a strong mission. Seems simple, but it's complex. And then the CODATA's vision is a world in which science is empowered to address universal challenges through the transparent, trustworthy, and equitable use of data and information. So just very briefly, the three areas that CODATA has been working on recently. One is about, the project related to making data work that started with Walther in collaboration with RDA, and is now very much been followed with the cross-domain interoperable framework. There was a talk about that already this morning, a session about that this morning, and you will be hearing more in other sessions during this week of CDF. And also the Data Documentation Initiative, the DDI and DDI-CDI is one part of CDF. Then we're working also on promoting data policies, specifically also you'll hear in this week about data policies in times of crises, a UNESCO toolkit that is already been published, and very interesting to use as a again, to be able to share data and access data more easily at the time of crisis. And then we're also working on data science and data for data readiness or AI readiness, right? Data science for AI and AI readiness for data. So for this, we also have several talks, and one is on Wednesday morning on AI for science, and what we need to do to prepare data for AI in a responsible and transparent way. So this is the introduction of CODATA, but I'm looking forward to hearing from the early career researchers. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mercy. Please, colleagues, do visit the stand. There's a table, the CODATA table on the top floor at the foyer, where you'll see some of the most interesting research that has taken place in recent time, as well as the CODATA website, where we update information on a weekly basis. Colleagues, the tables that you're sitting on are by design. It was not by accident. We're trying to break the silos, as it were, and we're trying to get you to collaborate and network and make new friends so that when you leave here, you can go and brag when you get back home. Now, in a table, you would see it's a C shape because we're supposed to be sitting and having some kind of discussion in between the pitches. So I would encourage you to find a table where there are people, because we will be voting as a badge. We'll be voting as a table when we vote for the winners. So we'd like for you to sit together so you can discuss who is the best in terms of the pitches we're going to hear today. So I'm going to give you a minute to organize yourself. Just look for an unfamiliar face. That's the easiest way to find the table. Just look for an unfamiliar face. All right. Oh, and let's avoid our friends, because you don't want to be biased. Science is supposed to be fair, after all. Science is supposed to be fair. All right. While we're doing that, we'll be welcoming Daniela to come and speak on WDS. Speak to the mic and
Sure.
you can move your slides.
Okay. Yep. Hello, everyone. I'm Daniela, and I'm representing the World Data System. It is an honor to be here today in support of our early career communities for the three organizations, and it's wonderful that we can come together and have a session like this. So just a brief introduction on WDS. The unique thing about WDS is that we are a member of organization of data repositories. So we work to enhance the value of data repositories worldwide. Every 2 years or so, we revise our action plan with what are the priorities that we should focus on based on what our member repositories need the most. For the next 2 years, these are the 4 objectives for WDS's actions, and I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on them for the sake of time. The full action plan is available online, and you can see it there on WDS website. But just a little bit on each one of them very briefly. One of our first objectives is to support our member repositories by engaging diverse communities, enhance AI data readiness, and we organized a series of workshops actually on this recently. Advocate for sustained funding for data repositories, and we're trying to extend our reach to also low and middle income countries in a more positive way, and also extend our engagement with early career researchers. On the second objective for WDS's mission is to promote our members' impact through outreach. And we have recently developed a Delphi study when we looked at what were the priorities of data repositories and how they could show their value for science. And so we are using these real world examples to promote those and show to funders and all the stakeholders the value of data repositories. We also do this by our Data Stewardship Award. We are actually going to be awarding this prize in the closing ceremony of IDW this year. And we're also going to be opening it for the next year. So I welcome you to attend the closing ceremony and learn a little bit more about the Data Stewardship Award that we have. We also participate in global events like this one. In terms of our third objective, we try to show leadership in data governance by championing trusted data repositories, co-hosting events like this, International Data Week. We try to foster best practices for data repositories and through diverse activities, like, for example, our series of white papers on national policies in respect to data repositories more specifically, and that is also available online. We have a very extensive series that is actually showing the policies at this moment in Latin America, and we are extending it to actually grow that series for the rest of the world. But it's an ongoing effort. And then in regards to our first objective, we advocate worldwide for quality, trustworthiness, equity, and fairness in data, and we partner with major initiatives like the UN Sustainable Development Goals, Ocean Decade, we advance FAIR principles and indigenous data governance, and championing inclusive open science. So through these four objectives, WDS intends to strengthen the global data ecosystem for research and society. So to finalize, if we are not involved with the World Data System yet, we invite you to get involved. If you have a data repository, we invite you to become a member. If you are an early career researcher, we invite you to be part of our network. And there's the QR codes there, so please scan them. And if you have any questions, you can meet me at the end of the session. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Daniela. Now we will welcome Hilary to come and give us a background on RDA. Give her a hand of applause.
Thank you. My name's Hilary Hanaho. I have the great honour and privilege to be the Secretary General of the Research Data Alliance. And we are the new kid on the block compared to CODATA and WDS, I believe, because we were formed in 2013. And the wonderful thing about International Data Week and the wonderful thing about our collaboration with CODATA and WDS is that we are actually three very complementary organizations. And the Research Data Alliance was born as a bottom-up organization, so everything that's done in the Research Data Alliance is by the community and for the community. And we have a very grand and ambitious vision, as you can see there on the screen, that researchers and innovators can openly share and reuse data across countries, across disciplines, and across technologies to solve the grand challenges of society. So it's a very ambitious, as I said, vision. Not unachievable or impossible, but ambitious. And we do that. Our mission then to achieve this vision is to build the social and the technical bridges. The technical bridges in RDA are done via working groups, interest groups. The early career researchers' interest is an example of an interest group, which is a longer term, if you like, group in RDA, and then working groups that have very specific outputs and achievements and goals. But so they're the technical bridges, but we put equal importance on the social bridges, yes, the connections, building these connections, collaboration, and trust. And I didn't check which was the way to move this on. So, and the Research Data Alliance, as I said, tries to facilitate both. A very important thing about the organization is that we are founded on these 6 guiding principles, yes, that everything that is done in the Research Data Alliance is open. It is driven by the community, so community-driven. It's consensus-based. consensus can take a little longer, but it's important, that there's harmonization, that everything we do is inclusive, and we mean that in all senses of that word, linguistically, racially, gender, but also all technologies, all voices, all domains, all disciplines, yes. And that it's non-profit and technology neutral from the outset. What does that mean? The idea behind the Research Data Alliance is that everything that's done in an open and collaborative way is available for others to take up and implement, to benefit from. In fact, the membership of the Research Data Alliance is free of charge for individuals. We are just over 16,000. People engage in RDA in many different ways. But membership is free, and then you can join the groups and follow the activities that are happening. We do have organisations and regions also as members. They're paying members. Briefly, why? Because organisations are actually the people that take up these outputs that are driven by RDA and the community, and regions help us to spread the word and ensure that it is truly a global initiative and that everyone can benefit from it. So we work on many, many different things. One of the biggest challenges of the Research Data Alliance is, of course, that it's open to all. We have over 100 active groups working at the moment. And it's very hard to categorise them. Trish has done a wonderful job in showing some of the areas, if you like, and capturing. But you can just imagine it's challenging to understand and to work out what they are. But more importantly, because we want to hear about you, I'd like to thank the organisers of the session for including RDA in this. IDW, as I said, is an example of how WDS, CODATA and RDA work together for the benefit of the community. And we are also struggle, I have to say, in RDA to be more inclusive with early career researchers. So we are grateful for this particular group and hope to learn myself some things from us. We also have people upstairs at the RDA booth beside CODATA, and I think WDS are near us as well, near the exhibition. Please come and join us, and please sign up to RDA, because the more that you get involved, the more you will get. We say the more you give, the more you get, okay? And we say in RDA that if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Hilary. Colleagues, the main reason for having this session actually was to make sure that early career researchers are exposed to the opportunities that exist within our partner organizations. So we do encourage you to follow the pages and go to the website and see what opportunities awaits for you. Now, Hilary said building consensus take time. I hope it doesn't take time here today, because you're going to have to put trust in a stranger. One person has to take, in a group, you have to choose your steward in your group. You need to now whisper amongst yourself. One person needs to scan the Mentimeter, and that person will vote on behalf of the group. Now you need to choose someone that you can trust that they will submit the answer that the group has reached consensus on. Right. While you're scanning the Menti, where you will vote and you're choosing your own steward, I'm going to name the presenters for the first half, and then we're going to do the rest of the presenters for the first half, just so that they can be be ready. The first one will be Alexander Wolf. The second one will be Iona Kotea. The third one will be Julia Kerman. The fourth one will be Bilia Mugotitsa. The fifth one will be Esmond Erwin, and the sixth one will be Tasmia Said Sutopa. Colleagues, I've got a very deep, thick, indigenous African accent, so if I butchered your name, please forgive me. This indigenous accent doesn't want to go away. So, have you chosen your steward? Yes. Thank you very much. So, Alexander, you will pitch your idea in 3 minutes. You will be timed, they will be listening, and they will make sure that they vote for you should you be the best person to pitch? Maybe let's give them the mic so that they can control the...
You want the mic, or you're fine with this?
Can I just turn this one?
No, you can't.
You don't think you can turn this
You
one?
can't turn this one.
Okay, then
Okay,
I can have the
but
mic.
I will be your timer. Please look at me. I'm going to give you signs. If you won't get off stage, I'm going to carry you off stage. Worst case.
Perfect. Perfect. Test, test, test.
Okay, ready?
Ready? So, from gaze to diagnostics, eye tracking cognitive changes from health aging to mild cognitive impairment. And let me start with a task. Please remember what the bear eats. Okay, 3, 2, 1. And let me follow up with the problem. Oh, there's a problem on the laptop, but I'll just click it away. So in the past, clinical efforts on diagnosing Alzheimer's disease only focused only once symptoms were clearly apparent. However, at this stage, reversal therapies and pharmacological interventions are largely ineffective, and also the diagnosis itself often brings profound emotional consequences, with patients experiencing depression and disuse syndrome. But imagine if we could capture the earliest signs of cognitive decline before they disrupt daily living, way before they evolve into a clinical diagnosis of dementia. And that's where my work begins. So my research question is simple but very crucial. Can mild cognitive impairment be detected through eye tracking at the very beginning of Alzheimer's disease? So the method is not new, but the application is. So eye tracking technology has been used in neuromarketing for many years, yet relatively few investigations have used eye tracking technology to explore visual attentional deficits in clinical populations. And to address this gap, I applied eye tracking methods to examine visual attention in patients with schizophrenia and mild cognitive impairment. And I found that eye tracking has a potential as a diagnostic tool. And here comes the bear again. So if you may have a look at the item that the bear chose before. Okay, I don't, just focus your gaze. Yes, sir, I don't have an eye tracker with me, but I would love to see your visual scan paths. But here is the illustration of gaze points in memory recall task that you actually did. So here we have normal controls in blue, mild cognitive impairment people in green, and Alzheimer's disease patients with red. So here's a perfect example that our eyes don't just look, they reveal. So eye tracking could serve as an early non-invasive objective biomarker for cognitive decline. It offers a path towards early screening for healthy aging. And with this last slide, I would like to thank you all for being here today. And please feel free to scan the QR codes and see you at our session on Thursday. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Spot on. The next speaker will be Iona Kotia. You might want to take notes. There are some notebooks and pens at the corner there, if you'd like to make some notes as the speakers are presenting. Is it Iona or Iona? Iona. Your time begins now. Let me get you to your slides. Ready?
Yes. Yes. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Ioana. I'm a scientific researcher with background in applied physics. I work in heritage science, so an interdisciplinary field. After I finished my PhD, I got lucky and had my first grant. One of the outputs was a large data set that I decided to go open with. So I've created the InfraArc Spectral Library database. So imagine this huge amount of curated, high-quality spectral data sets that capture chemical fingerprints of pigments and other related materials, highly reusable by other researchers, open access, but with limited interoperability. So we asked ourselves, how can we make our data truly fair? So our main goal was to create this online go-to resource for other researchers that can rely on, and equip interdisciplinary research communities with a fair and trust digital resource. So our main problem that we wanted to attack was interoperability. Through a recent funding from the ARDC Tiger, we tackled this problem. So we focused on semantic interoperability. We did fair mappings and crosswalks of our data sets to DCAT and schema.org and several ontologies to map several descriptors to various vocabularies and have a rich metadata schemas that can be readable by machines and other aggregators. Okay, 1 minute. The main output in terms of technical stuff was an increase in our fair score according to Fuji. So from 46 we get to 92, and interoperability is now 6 out of 6. But the main gain was towards our community. We saw a great access in file access requests and new users coming upon publishing, embedding these schemas online. So we hope this work can inspire other communities to follow. And finally, the
Thank you very much. Thanks, Jonna. Reload. All right, can we now have...
Yes, different title. You can go next slide.
Next slide.
We figured that the title was... That's the right title, right?
Yes.
Yes, much better.
Okay, can we now have Julia Kerman presenting her research? You have 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
You good?
I'm good, yes.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, yeah, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Julia German, and I'm a PhD student at the Institute for Biomedical Informatics in Cologne. And my research is on a reusable pipeline for medical knowledge discovery from multimodal data. The idea is that if a patient presents at the clinics, there are usually different examinations taking place. For instance, in this example, you can see that there's a first examination where a blood sample is taken and analyzed. Then there's a second examination where you have the blood sample imaging and genetic testing. And then there's a second follow-up where you have the blood testing and another imaging. So the data spreads over time and modalities. Our idea here is, or our vision, to combine all of this patient data into one patient representation, one vector that explains everything, to then be able to analyze the data with AI jointly. And the question here is how to do this as generalizable, reusable, and automated as possible. For this, we conceptualized this graph-based integration pipeline for structured data and imaging. And here we start with structured data and neuro-MRI from a clinical partner. The structured clinical data is transformed into a labeled property graph through graph generation. And from the neuro-MRI, we learn feature representations, so numbers that represent the image. Then we combine all of that into a multimodal labeled property graph from which we learn a vector representation that can then be used for ML-based prediction. And you might ask, why go from vectors to vectors via knowledge graphs or labeled property graphs? Why not just use the input data? And the reason, or one of the most important reasons here, is the semantic enrichment. So we combine, we have connections between the measured values here. And this is what we do concretely. So we develop one module transforming the table to a graph, leveraging metadata and medical terminologies known as CT. Then we develop another module transforming the image to features by comparing baseline features like brain region volumes with abstract features generated with deep learning. And then I'm already at the end. We have the star-specific pre-processing and graph embedding. And with that, I would like to thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Julia. Why did you allow me to call you Julia? I told you I've got that indigenous accent. Now, yes, thank you very much. Now we've got Pilia Mogotita.
Yes, I'm good. You good? Yeah. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. So 2 years ago, we rolled out a project to harmonize longitudinal data in African settings for mental health. So this was done by use of OMOP, Observational Medical Outcomes Partnerships, and also DDI Life Cycle Standard. So we were able to map a number of validated screening tools and develop a data warehouse where we host this data before we map it to OMOP CDM, where we are also able to map it to Atlas and then do predictive analytics and create cohorts and such. So when doing this work, there are a couple of things that we identify. This includes data that informs mental health outcomes and decisions in African settings. So we missed things like clinical data, we missed things like conversational chats, and other voice notes that people talk but actually inform that someone has a mental health condition. And this needs to be harmonized to be able to inform mental health decisions. And so the next phase of the project is to be able to harmonize all these data in such a way that we create a generative AI tool under controlled experiments which will curb two things. One, it is the lack of healthcare to meet population needs for mental health, but also to be able to accurately detect mental health issues according to international frameworks. So we are working to collect data from HDSA's records and hospitals, which again, it is siloed and it is still manual, digitizing that and then harmonizing that into the staging database that I talked about. And then after harmonizing it to the staging database, working with both standard and non-standard OMOP concepts to be able to inform decisions. And the major decision is the referral pathway. So basically, that's it.
Well done. Only if you could get a point for finishing earlier on. Esmond Irwin.
Begins now, here we go, no pressure. Hi everyone, I'm Esmond, I work at the University of Nottingham. Time for a curveball, here we go. So data is always collected for a reason. Somehow that reason is never explained or captured. Is context everything? So, if context is everything, and the UK Supreme Court has stated in a ruling that law takes its meaning from context, we can derive that something or anything takes its meaning from context, ergo data takes its meaning from context. Funny how we have all these data sets around the world. They're like sacrosanct items, factual aspects, yet they're all missing context. So if they're all missing context, are we actually using them in the correct way? So, difficult thing this, looking at the tacit, how can we capture it? Vielen Dank. And so we've been running some workshops in the UK, brought together some clinicians, healthcare professionals, researchers such as myself. So about 55 people there. That was for healthcare, then reran it for the Elixir All Hands meeting. So took it over to the life sciences, posed questions, debate, captured aspects, and funnily, they're incredibly similar. Two different disciplines, incredibly similar. And here we have a relational model I'm building. This isn't complete, and it is somewhat simplified. And it's all about context. When people transform data and annotate it, they do it for a reason. Why do they do it? And that's the difficulty. And that's why it hasn't been solved thus far. Because these things are variable like us, you know? Therefore, they will vary. How can we reduce variability? Why does person X choose term A over term B? And if you've got different sets of choices for terminology when you transform data from source to target, how can you explain that? How can you support that with the data set when people look to utilise it for research and reuse? Two data sets, although they might look the same, contextually could be incredibly different. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. So a person has context, but they also have bias. Interesting. So you can have both and still... I'm confused now. The next one is Tasmia Said Sutopa. I hope I said that correctly. Please come and dazzle us. Is this the one? Just 3 minutes.
Hi, I am Tasmia. So when studying medicine in real world, it's not enough to know what was prescribed. We need to know and understand how dose and duration of those medicines are adjusted for different health events. So this is where the pharmacoepidemiology and linked datasets play a crucial role. Administrative data routinely captures the information of prescribing and dispensing, mortality records, and even hospitalization records. When linked them together, these sources give us a complete view of how medicines are used across large population over a long period of time. So let's take the example of injured patient. Injured patients are often prescribed opioids for pain management. So these opioids can be effective and sometimes necessary, but the use of opioid has become controversial due to its harms on mental and physical health. When, in fact, these opioid intake tends to increase when patients experience more hospitalization and or have some prescription when we want to understand this relationship, we need more than prescription information. We need to see medicine use over time and other related factors in real world. We aim to analyze the trajectories of community opioid dispensing. That's why we have used community opioid dispensing after injury dataset or CODI dataset. This novel linked dataset has 3 Queensland-wide sources, that is hospital admission, pharmaceutical opioid dispensing, and mortality records. So our study includes almost 130,000 Queensland residents hospitalized for injury during 2014 to 2015. 39% of injured patients received community opioid dispensing during this follow-up period. And as you can see, the median average opioid dispense per day increased as the number of surgeries increased. So linking opioid monitoring data with hospitalization record gives us deeper insight into health, clinical care, and medication uses of injured patients. By analyzing the data in detail, including the opioid trajectory context, we can generate the evidence that can inform safer prescribing patterns. Thanks for your attention.
so much. Right now, is it voting time? Yes. I'm going to have to go all the way. I must refresh.
Refresh it, but it should be there. It's always with.
Where do I refresh now?
When you go to the beginning, there was the slide.
Yeah, no.
Skip through to the beginning. There we go.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to put your trust in a friend. Oh, context. Oh, the context is you need to discuss in your group. Chaube, you know, some of the presenters are actually in the groups where they have to vote, right? For fairness, should they abstain from the discussion?
They will manage.
Okay. I'm told that you can manage and be fair on your own. All right. While 3 minutes. You've got 3 minutes to vote. Pragya, are you going to show the results? Only at the end. You can sit here. You can come sit here. I don't think. I can't remember. Next time we cut it down to 2 minutes. Cyrus. Yes. Cyrus. Next time we cut it to 2 minutes. Because no one is going all the time. Are you made it? All right. 5, 4, 3. One minute. Just 1 minute. Right. Oh, so some groups have created a criteria. I wonder what that criteria looks like, but it's very interesting. Oh, and then there's a breakaway group from the main group. This is like politics, eh? Exactly how the world works. All right, so please lock in your answers or your preferred speakers as we carry on with the session. We are now going to call Pragya to come and tell us more about Connect. Please clap hands for her. There we go.
Thank you so much, Louis, and thank you everyone for joining us today. And I have to say, I'm really impressed by all the pitches that we have heard so far. You guys have truly been amazing, fantastic, and we are like really happy that everyone managed to keep it within 3 minutes. It's amazing. So, okay, so I am here to talk about CODATA Connect, which in a nutshell is basically CODATA's early career network. Actually, I'm going to use this. So as Mercy has already introduced CODATA, I'm not going to go in the details of what CODATA does, but I'm going to talk more so about the CODATA Connect, which is basically the working group that ensures a structural and sustained integration of various activities that CODATA does, their alumni, their early career professionals in this network. And our missions, as you can see, are basically to build a global network of early career data professionals, advance their skills through training, mentorships, and leadership, and we provide support to build their leadership, and yes, basically promote. Thank you so much. Yes, and we actually do this through various activities that we do within CODATA Connect. We connect the ACRs, we have memberships from all across the globe, and we promote the data sharing, values of data sharing, responsible and ethical data sharing among early career researchers, and we try to build capacity across these different regions through various workshops, webinars, and different activities that we have happening within our group. And we facilitate international cooperation on different activities that are happening within CODATA, and we try to build that connection between CODATA and CODATA Connect. And currently, we have across 15 members across the globe, and plus 3 co-chairs. That is me, Pragya Chaube. I am from India, and we have Louis, who is joining here all the way from Walther University, South Africa. And we have Christopher, who unfortunately is not here today. He's here in spirit though. And we would very much like all of you to actually come visit, join us. But we do not have our memberships open. It is open for PhDs, postdocs, and everyone in their early career professional phases, but there is no age limit to joining this network. And currently, we do not have our membership call open, but please follow us on our LinkedIn page, contact us on our email, or visit our website, and please be in touch, and we would very much like to welcome you all when our next membership call opens. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And just because you're not a member doesn't mean you cannot participate in our activities. That's why we encourage you to join our LinkedIn page so you can see when we update and post activities for early career researchers. Now, I am going to call Te, who's going to introduce WDS ECR Network.
Thank you. I will also try and stick to the 3-minute time limit. So I'm a ECR network co-chair for WDS, and similar to CODATA, as you've just seen, the really, I guess, the mission of the Early Career Research Network is to do that, connect early career researchers across both communities and disciplines and geography, and really trying to foster involvement and data sharing practices and I guess with a very data focus to, I guess, advancing data stewardship. We have 3 co-chairs currently. Unfortunately, I'm the only one here from World Data System this time, but Yuya and Jing are both very involved, and I think it's sort of a 3-year term, so my term is coming to an end. So if you're interested, please do get in touch if you want to. I think you might want to be a co-chair. I think one of the really interesting and useful learning parts of being a co-chair is getting sort of a seat on the scientific committee and in terms of understanding a bit more about how the World Data System works. So that was a really cool opportunity. Finally, just more specifically, it's meetings like this aiming to sort of expand awareness of early career researchers in sort of a research setting. And finally, obviously, please join us. We are open to membership, so please feel free to sign up. And then I'm going to sort of split into a different hat. Unfortunately, our RDA colleagues couldn't make it today, so I'm an interest group member. I'm not one of the co-chairs for the RDA ECE interest group, but I'll briefly introduce them on their behalf. And we've got Connie, Claire, Hilary and Trish to answer all the tricky questions related to RDA. I'll just throw that out there. So I think that the ECE group was founded in 2017, and these are the 3 lovely co-chairs here, Devon, Ellie and Foitis, and really I guess the aim for the ECE group within the RDA context is to help with the RDA, sort of to meet up within the RDA plenary. So the plenaries happen twice a year, usually one virtual and one in person, and of course coincides with World Data System, with International Data Week even, when it happens every 2 years. So there is an RDA interest group page, and again links to join up in terms of they have a Slack group, and there's a GitHub repository page which has info and sort of tries to be kept up to date with some of the outputs there that are relevant to the interest group. So please feel free to join that one as well. Or all the hard questions pointing in that direction of the room and the people waving. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now, colleagues, you don't have to vote for her. And you don't have to vote for Pragya. They already got the award. Now, I'm going to call, we're going into the next round of presentations, right? And we've got 6 presenters again who are going to dazzle us with their research. The first one is going to be Sucharitha Wirasuria. Yes, got it. Thank you. Please come forward. Okay. You'll use the... Oh, you want that one? No, you have to be, because we are recording.
Let's be honest, no one likes going to hospital. Just hearing the word even can make us feel uneasy, feel anxious, and often worried. Wouldn't it be great if we could prevent some of those visits even before they ever happen? That's exactly what I am working on, helping people to predict the risk early and avoid the hospital journey for food disease. Let me tell you something that doesn't get talked about much, food disease. That might sound simple, but it's a serious issue. I'm talking about foot ulcers, foot infections, and poor blood flow or loss of feeling of your feet. These problems can creep up quietly, but if they are left untreated, they will often lead to hospital stays and sometimes even more serious outcomes like losing your legs. Here's something that might surprise you. in Australia, problems are in top 10 reasons people end up in hospitals. And it accounts for 1 in 10 patient hospitalization. And 10 patient hospitalizations. In Australia, food problems are in top 10 reasons people end up in hospitals. And it accounts for 1 in 10 patient hospitalizations. And while we value often hear food problems in people with diabetes, there's a twist. More than half of the food-related hospitalizations happen in people who do not have diabetes at all. But nearly all the research and health programs are only focused on diabetes food disease. So what about everyone else? That is the problem we are focusing on. Our team is working on a study looking at food-related hospitalization of all the people, including people who do not have diabetes as well. We are looking at what causes them, how much it costs, and where they are happening. And the most exciting part, we developed a tool, a risk prediction model, that could help to identify people's risk of being hospitalized before they reach the point of hospitalization. With the advanced statistical analysis, we developed this model with use of statewide linked data of high-risk food services and hospital admissions of all the hospitals and health services in the state of Queensland. So what does this mean for you? If you're someone living with ongoing food disease, these research findings could help you to understand your risk and stay ahead of it. If you're working in the health sector, you could be able to use these research findings to identify at-risk people early and provide them a better health care. So our ultimate goal is simple, to help keep people on their feet, in their homes, and out of hospitals. Because if we know the risk early, we have the power to change the story. Yes. Thank you.
So much. Interesting. I hope you have a solution for people who walk this city and they are tourists, because I have blisters for walking around yesterday. Oh my God, I just couldn't stop walking. Such a beautiful city. The second speaker is going to be Binuri Pereira. Your time begins now, and just watch that gentleman who's the timekeeper.
Thank you. Injuries. The term itself sounds so scary. Every year in Australia, millions of people get hospitalized, and 500,000 get hospitalized because of injuries. Here in the state of Queensland, where we all are right now, we have one of the highest injury rates in the country. Many recover quickly, but for others, what comes as straightforward recovery becomes a long and challenging journey. So what makes an injury into something more serious? One big reason is infections. That is when the bugs and superbugs find their way into our body through open portals like wounds and makes us very sick. And one of the serious infections is bloodstream infections. That is when those bugs enter our blood. This can be life-threatening. Despite their impact, we still don't have a clear picture of who gets them, how often they occur, where they occur, and how these characteristics are connected with the outcomes as well as health service use. My research focuses on injured patients who develop bloodstream infections. I used linked data from 2000 to 2019, which brings together information from pathology data, hospital admission data, and death data of all Queensland residents. So this is the first population-based study. That means it lets us see the bigger picture of not just one hospital or one group, but all residents of our state. From my analysis, I identified over 3,000 Queenslanders who developed injury-related bloodstream infections. Among them, males, older adults, and people residing in remote areas have higher rates per population, and also they have higher rates per injuries. From my small area analysis, where I used Bayesian hierarchical spatial models, I identified that the Queensland areas in northern and remote areas have high risk. My findings can help clinicians to to prioritize high-risk subgroup during injury care, and policymakers to focus on targeted strategies to prevent injury-related bloodstream infections and make the recovery from injury safer and smoother. Injuries can happen to any of us, anytime, anywhere. So our future is behind this every single data point. So with the help of my findings and with the help of the respective authorities, we can take initial steps to stop the bugs from turning an injury recovery into a battle. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Benir, for that presentation. I can confirm men are a high group risk everywhere, not just in Queensland, for reasons that are yet to be researched. Our next speaker is going to be Jonah Eva.
Good day, everyone. My name's Jonah. Despite my Aussie accent and the fact that I say data instead of data, I'm here representing the Health Data Research UK Federated Analytics Program from the University of Nottingham. So our program focuses on developing capacity and capability for the spectrum of federated research. So what this is whereby researchers are enabled to perform distributed analysis, discovery, and learning across disparate data sources without data ever leaving the collecting organisation. In our program, we really try to balance three questions, the first of which is what is possible. This is around technical feasibility and understanding interoperability, especially for our trusted research environments, our TREs. What is useful, so working with researchers and our TREs data organisations to understand what type of analysis are you looking at, what type of security, what type of privacy do we need to be concerned with, and finally, what is acceptable. So key here is working with the public to understand, are we exceeding our social license and the type of data we're collecting and use of data. So this is a very busy slide, but really what this is trying to articulate is to balance these three questions relies a lot of engagement with different groups. So starting at our top, we're working with industry, working with our funders across our different organisations, different tools and technologies around here with funding, crowd and letters, which I think we might hear about later, and then working across different communities that are concerned with safe data access and TREs. And then also engaging with the public and other TRE industry providers. So it is a busy picture, and it's really not a one and done in terms of engagement and understanding these requirements and gathering different requirements and understanding the attitudes of these groups. It's really an ongoing effort. So part of our program is to establish the Federated Research Community Group. So this group is really to be that ongoing voice and to collect these different requirements from these research groups, TRE groups, and industry. Because I think we're cognizant that you can build things with the expectation people will come, but I think it's better to think, let's build something where people belong. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that presentation. Did you say you're from New Zealand?
Australia.
Oh, okay. I was just about to tell you, I'm from that country that has the Springboks. Sorry, bragging rights. The next speaker will be Abdur Rahman Khan.
All right, so this is Abdur, and my topic is multi-level source code vulnerabilities discovery framework. And as you may have guessed, this area of research is related to the cybersecurity. And why it's crucial, because at present era, we have more devices than the people themselves on this planet Earth. And this essentially means that the technology is widespread in use of the people. And as a result, the cybersecurity breaches and the cybersecurity issues are increasing significantly. And no major organization has been exception to that. You name it, that it be the Optus, T-Mobile, Uber, Equifax, and the list continues and goes on. And to the extent that they had to establish the national vulnerability database that publicly discloses such cybersecurity incidents to raise public awareness and safeguard against them. So in Australia alone, these number of cases have increased about 31% and in just last financial year. And this is half of the figures because the other half of the organizations, they never disclose because of fear of repercussions. Now this is the actual dilemma because underneath any digital service is a piece of software, and if the software has structural weaknesses in them, then it opens the back door for the hackers to exploit, potentially gaining the access to the sensitive data or hacking the whole system or running the malicious code. And as it seems obvious that even a perfectly functional software can have those sort of vulnerabilities, and it's really difficult to identify those vulnerabilities from the apparent source code itself. And that's why when the program gets translated into various intermediate representations, that's where those vulnerabilities exist. And my job is to automate this process because as of now, the vulnerability database has more than hundreds and thousands of cases, and it's beyond the human capacity to identify all of those cases, and neither they have the cybersecurity expertise. So I use AI algorithms, but it's not without its own limitations. So as seen here, the vulnerabilities change their nature, change their type based on just addition of one keyword. And as opposed to the existing research that focuses on the program as a whole, my research focuses on those individual tokens that interact and cause the vulnerabilities, in addition to feeding the graph to the complex AI models that can highlight those nuanced differences. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you very much.
Thanks for the handshake. You know, I was wondering why we have so many volunteers in this room. I see that you brought your fan base. He wants to rig the votes. Can we then have our next speaker, Johan Migales? Is it John or Johan?
John, but in Catalan.
Oh, okay. There you go.
I guess it's the next slide. Well, more or less. Well, let's just start with this. Okay, I'm Joan Giner. I'm from the Barcelona Supercomputing Center in Barcelona, Spain. And my research pitch today is about public institutions, AI, and evaluation, specifically data-centric evaluation. Nowadays, AI is present in our daily lives. And this has also happened in public institutions, that these institutions are pushed to implement AI in their institutions. Why? For instance, assisting citizens in bureaucratic processes or allocating resources, helping workers to allocate resources. However, large language models and multimodal models, this pushing technology, are that some companies like OpenAI say that are generalist or general artificial intelligence, are hard to evaluate. And why are hard to evaluate? Because they are black boxes. And basically, this is a limitation for public institutions that doesn't know how to properly get insights about its adoption. Doesn't work. Here the question is how we can build these scientific foundations and how we can build these tools to let public institutions adopt these AI technologies. My approach is a data-centric evaluation. And what means data-centric? Means that we freeze AI models and we focus on, doesn't mean domain-specific benchmark. We focus on data. First, because data is ours. It's not from that company, so we can model the data. We have a long tradition modeling the data in this community. And designing these domain-specific benchmarks is something that it's easy to involve public institutions, social scientists, social groups involved there, and engineers. And how we do that? That doesn't work. We do that in a parallel effort. Besides designing data, we also need a computational workflow, this computational environment. And right now I work in the Barcelona Supercomputing Center, so I think it's a good place to work to create this research. And also, we are building a trusted research environment, because the good thing about domain-specific benchmarks is that they have, they have sensitive data, and these sensitive data need to be worked inside this trusted research environment. Well, with this environment, which benefits we have? We can get a specific task, we can compute the workflow, and then we have a fair comparison between models. We can test all the commercial models. We can make guidance in institutions on how to apply AI, and we can publish the results, allowing social scientists to get insights. And that's my final remark. And the project is called Towards a Data-Centric Observatory for Public Institutions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, John. Thank you so much for that presentation. It was a marathon. The next presenter and the last presenter of this session, I hope you're keeping your score. Eh? The next and the last presenter for this session is Andy Ray. And his suit matches his slides. Yeah, it does.
Thanks so much. Okay. Cool. My name's Andy Ray. I'm a software engineer for the Centre of Health Informatics at the University of Nottingham. I'm also inside the NHS. I'm head of research software at Nottingham University Hospitals. I'll do it. Yep. Stuart Brand. If you want to know where the future is being made, look for where language is invented and lawyers are congregating. I'm not talking about AI. I'm not talking about crypto. I am, of course, talking about health research software and federation. Inside the NHS in England, we're currently building out infrastructure for secure data environments, SDEs, or trusted research environments, TREs, for health data research across England. Our teams across both of my roles provide both data as well as software that support federation across these networks. These aren't just infrastructure, but really a new civic architecture, foundations of consent, transparency, and accountability. For so long, health research relied on centralizing everything. Move the data, move the people, take copies, take risks. This is slow, legally fragile, and really incompatible with privacy expectations. Federation changes the model. The data stays where it is, the research goes to the data, it's secure, auditable, and preserves privacy. It also forces us to collaborate differently across vocabularies, interoperability standards, and governance. This is all really abstract, so to bring a concrete example our team has worked with, I introduced Bunny, cohort discovery, and a new way for research to search data sets for cohorts in a federated approach. Pioneered by the University of Nottingham and operationalized by HDR UK, we built open source tooling to support this. Bunny, an open source product, enables research to access federated networks, fast, secure, and maintain sovereignty of our data partners. We're connecting large-scale research databases using Bunny. CPRD, 40 million GP records use Bunny to connect to cohort discovery. OPC, 30 million GP records also use using Bunny to connect to cohort discovery. And as we bring SDEs online over the next kind of 3 or 4 months, we're expecting that number to go above 100 million records using Bunny for cohort discovery. My team, we're here all week. We're into next week as well. Okay. I'm missing a slide. Don't worry about that slide then. We're always looking for more collaboration and across what we do. Come say hello. We believe this is where the future is being built, carefully, collaboratively, and we're doing it now. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Apologies for that slide. Okay. I gonna come and present the results? Oh, okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I'm so glad there's no feedback on the MC. Colleagues, it's time to discuss now. You've got 3 minutes to finalize your... your scores. So this is the second round of voting, right? You voted the first round. Now this is your second round of voting. Colleagues, hello. It's voting time. Please log in your votes now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Are your votes in?
I just want to say thank you to the host. You've been very entertaining and made that fun.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, we're getting there. Some of the names, my colleague is struggling with the alphabets.
Some of the names are long.
Yeah,
So you know.
I didn't want to say that. I don't want to give it away.
So just to fill out the space, I was going to do this at the end, but maybe we can just keep it going. So we wanted to thank the organizers for putting this session together. You guys did an awesome job, and we couldn't be more supportive. And thank you for putting this all together. It's a beautiful session. I think everybody enjoyed it and was engaged. And so we have a certificate for you guys too, for the great job that you did. So.
Claire, please come to the front. Me. No, don't go away, Claire. Please come to the stage. Pragya, please come to the stage. Cyrus, please come to the stage. And somebody's going to volunteer to take us a photo.
Round of applause for the beautiful job that they
Please
did.
come. No. If you already someone will volunteer to take us a photo. It's fine. We are all connected now, so you can just share in our group.
There are more people coming up. You take the photo. If you come on,
Mercedes, just join us.
Mercer, please come to the stage.
No, Mercedes, you cannot take the photo if you have to be on stage.
Yes.
This has to be really quick. So you have to speed up because we need to give you prizes.
Thank you very much. Thanks. We're getting to the end now, where we're going to present the certificates. Claire and Pragya are going to come together, and Cyrus is going to have the presents. So we've got something, right? This was a contribution from CODATA, RDA, and WDS.
All right, so we have two joint second.
So we don't have last, we have two joint seconds. So don't leave here saying somebody was last. No one is last. We've got tables. Jonah Eva and Tasmia Satsutopa. Tasmia. Congratulations. And Trish, you need to come back. You are the photographer for the day.
Yes, background slide.
Do we want to get our first prize up as well? Yeah? So first prize.
And the first prize goes to Alexander Wolf! Yay! Please, in the middle. Yes.
Thank you. Sorry. Thank you. Thank you so much.
In the middle.
You have to move there. Ladies move there. You have to move. Come in, everyone. So afterwards, for the 3 winners, there's going to be plenty of photos with the respective people from the respective associations. But we have to close the session so everybody else can go to coffee break. Of course. Thank you. So, to wrap this up, I want to thank Louis again for being an amazing host tonight. And I want to thank all of you for coming, because this is much better attended than most of the other sessions. So we clearly see that this is highly valued by the community, and we're very much thankful for that. So please let us know if you like that. Give us some feedback on your final remarks about the session, and let us know if you liked it. We're going to organize that in 2 years again. If we're in 2 years in IDW in South Africa, in Cape Town, exactly, where Lou's going to host us. So please let us know, and thank you very much for being here, and thank you very much for voting.